20-year veteran educator sat across from me this week and told me something I have not been able to stop thinking about. He said he's more worried about his daughter's future than his son's. In 2026, in Canada, he thinks we are quietly sliding backwards on the ground women fought so hard to win. And the uncomfortable part, I think he may be right. Welcome back to Batje's Take. If you just listened to my conversation with Daniel Maveneka, you know it went everywhere. We talked about online schooling, we talked about Tanzanian coffee, we talked about seniors getting scammed, even a personal safety app. But the one moment that keeps replaying in my head is when I asked him. He's a serial entrepreneur and a great problem solver. So when I asked him what keeps him up at night, he paused and then he said he's genuinely worried about the opportunities that exist for his daughter, Nyasha. He's worried that those opportunities may not be the same quality as the ones that exist for his son. Different but equal, he called them. And he's not sure that's still true. That had me thinking, because I think I agree with him. I think in some important ways we are drifting backwards on the ground that women fought hard to win. And today I want to tell you why, and then I want to ask the harder question, which is, are women even fighting the right fight anymore? So let me take you back to 2013 when I moved to the West. I came from a continent where, yes, patriarchy is real. Don't get me wrong. The inequalities exist. And if you listened to my conversation with Joanna Wani a few episodes back, we show that she has some farms and she had women who were working on these farms, and you can see the patriarchy in what was happening. The husbands were coming and they were stopping their wives from working, and it was affecting her production. Go back and listen to that story. It is amazing, especially how she dealt with that particular problem. So yes, I come from Africa and patriarchy is real. But when I moved to the West, I was expecting something different. I came expecting, if not the finish line, at least a much closer one. And then I discovered that in the country I had just moved to, women were not being paid the same as men for doing the same job. Same role, same title, same qualifications, less money. I remember thinking, this is the place everyone is trying to come to. But coming from Zimbabwe, I never heard of a situation where men and women working in an engineering role or working in the back office, where I have a finance background, or they're working in the back office or in treasury. I never heard same role, same title, same everything. I never heard of a disparity in remuneration because of the gender. But here I was in this place where everyone wants to come to, and there was a disparity in remuneration because of the gender. So I want to put numbers on this so we are not arguing from feelings or emotions. And let's talk about, let's show the receipts. US gender pay gap. 2000 versus 2026. In 2000, women earned roughly 73 to 76 cents on the dollar. This comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and Pew. So by 2024, the number had crept up. It crept up to about 85 cents. Pew called it the enduring grip of the gender pay gap. Basically, it was frozen for 20 years. Now, fast forward to 2026, I researched it, so PayScale's new report has the uncontrolled gap at 82 cents, a $14,300 annual difference in $14,300 annual difference in median pay. This is the gender pay gap. The numbers don't lie. Multiple outlets, HR Drive, ESG Dive, I just researched all this. They're reporting the same headline, that the gap is growing again in 2026. So in 26 years, we moved the needle by roughly 9 cents. And now it's going the wrong way. So those are the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. we do seem to be going backwards, as Daniel says, in the progress that women have fought for. And then this past week, I came across this social media trend, trend is probably the wrong word, this social media question or the social media argument that's going on. And I guess we can call it the Emma Grede moment. Now, stay with me because, this is going to get real spicy. So Emma Grede, for those who don't know her, she's the British entrepreneur who co-founded Good American with Khloe Kardashian and is founding partner at Skims with Kim. She's a billionaire adjacent. She's a straight-talking boss. Yeah, I like her. She's straight-talking. And so she recently said, and I'm going to quote Emma Grede in 2026, open quotes, "If anybody thinks that you'll get the same promotion or the same pay increase without the visibility and the proximity to the people that make the decisions, they are crazy. You are not being considered for the same promotion and pay increase while you work from your living room as somebody that's there in the office every day." She called remote work career suicide, which maybe is true. But here's now the uncomfortable part. She may be correct, right? In the current system, proximity does equal promotion. Perhaps visibility does equal raise. She's describing the machine accurately. But I want to push back not on the diagnosis, but on the prescription, because the machinery is correct. But now telling women to fight harder inside a system that has moved 9 cents in 26 years is not really a strategy. I think it's trying to fight that rat race again. I read a book called The Broken Rung, and it talks about, there's a rung. It talks about, climbing the rung, and each rung is a different managerial level. And there's a rung at which women just do not go up anymore. And it's actually the bottom rung. And that's research that has shown this. So perhaps we are fighting the wrong fight. So women are actually leaving at management level, junior management level. They are not climbing up, and they are leaving to start something, build something of their own. So I think really the real question, and I saw a couple of social media influencers out there talking about this, and the real question is the corporate fight the wrong fight? So here's my take. Maybe the mistake isn't that women aren't in the office enough. Women are not in the office long enough. Maybe the mistake is that we are still trying to optimize that ladder that is being dismantled, trying to climb up that broken rung. Let me take you back to season 3 of Humor Career Insights, where we spent the whole season on AI and the future of work. In my conversation with Wadzi, we talked about humanitarians losing their jobs to automation and funding losses. Yes, a whole lot of things that we talked about humanitarians losing their jobs to. And she said something that I think is very wise advice. Go back to the basics. What are the things that AI cannot do? And one of the things she said was growing your own food, building real human trust, solving local problems with local people. She was pointing at entrepreneurship before I even knew that this was where the show was heading. That's why this season 4, entrepreneurship as a career choice exists, because the career ladder conversation, I think, is a 1990s conversation, and we are living in a 2026 reality. So we have to adapt and adjust and make things worth our while, make it work for us. If you haven't watched Sinead Bovell on the Oprah podcast, stop this video and go and watch it and come right back. Sinead is a futurist, founder of Way, and she said something that should be printed on every classroom wall. So in the Oprah podcast, she says, Even if you don't see yourself as an entrepreneur in the traditional sense, you'll soon have to start thinking like one. She calls it the end of the career ladder. The new toolkit, she says, is deep thinking, strong judgment, fierce communication, and the ability to adapt. You are no longer an employee with a job title. You are a set of skills, a bouquet of skills, she calls them, and you have to learn how to sell them. So listen, when I look back at the show, AI and the Future of Work in Season 3, Entrepreneurship as a Career Choice this season, I get little goosebumps. We were having these conversations before Oprah platformed them. Humor Career Insights is not following the thought leadership. It is the thought leadership. And I'm proud of that. Let's talk about one more thing because it connects everything. At the 2026 Nairobi AI Forum, the African Development Bank and UNDP announced a 10 billion initiative to drive African AI infrastructure, startups, talent by 2035. Game changer, right? Potentially. But here's the statistic nobody is putting on the billboard. Women hold roughly 22% of global AI positions. Only 12% of AI researchers are women, less than 14% of senior AI executive roles. And in the US STEM workforce, 26% women, a 1% increase since the year 2000. So let me connect the dots for you. And I'm using that connect the dots from one of my earlier guests, and that's Una. If you haven't listened to that one about connecting the dots, go back. It's 2 episodes behind. But yeah, so let me connect the dots for you. The gap is not closing. The ladder is being dismantled. As the research in the book, The Broken Rung, says, that rung is broken. The next $10 billion wave opportunity is being built right now in AI and in Africa in entrepreneurship. And women are once again not in the room where it's happening. So what am I saying? I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm not telling you to ignore Emma Grede. She's describing how the current system works, and she's right about the system. What I'm saying is this: stop optimizing your career for a ladder that 26 years of data says is barely moving. Start building the thing next to the ladder. Learn AI. Start the side hustle. Grow the food. Solve one real human problem, the way Daniel did with coffee, with seniors, with his own kids. That is the new career. Daniel said the greatest curse is to live the unfulfilled life. I'd add one more thing. The second greatest curse is to spend that life waiting for permission inside a system that was never really built with you in mind. I'm Batje. This was Take 11. If this sparked something, drop a comment with one word: ladder if you're still climbing, building if you're done climbing. I'll read every single one. See you in the next conversation and see you in the next Batje's Take. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, stay inspired.